what it takes to rise up as a woman. So for me, is that firstly, we have to find ourselves and we have to understand what we are truly made of. We never know what we are going to say may change someone's lives and may inspire them.
I think motivation, yes, you can go for some motivational session, definitely. No doubts. If you have something like, if you find that you want to motivate yourself, yes, you can go to session like that. But I feel that a lot of times as a business owner, if you don't self-motivate yourself, and if you don't see values in what you do, and you can't persevere by your own self, if you go to motivational session, it's just a one-day thing.
People who inspire you most are those who raise from bottom all the way up, not just single-handedly, but of course with help along, and how they overcome. Those are inspiring stories which is around us. We just don't have that platform to do, to share our story, not for fame, but actually to help somebody. I believe that we all want to do that. If only we have the chance to do it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all tonight? Awesome. First question. How many of you are here because of your friends? Please raise up your hand. Awesome. Let's give yourself a round of applause. Okay, how many of you just came back from work? Just came from work. Okay, awesome. And last question. How many of you are just here for the drinks? Okay, awesome. Okay, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Yeah, my name is Andrew Wei. I'm just the MC and also the co-organizer of this place. Just share with you really quickly and make your mark. Our goal is really to introduce to you people and ideas to help you fulfill your dreams. And today, by God's grace, somehow it became a women's empowerment session. Okay, so a little bit of housekeeping just to get it out of the way. Can everyone take out your handphone? Just wave your handphone, put it into silent mode. Okay, I'll give you 5 seconds. I need to check mine too. Okay, let's play along with me, okay? Everyone raise up your right hand. Come on, I don't see everyone's hands. Someone's still using the iPad. Okay, tap the person next to you on your right and say thank you for turning off your handphone. Okay, awesome. There's nobody tap the other side. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to introduce to you the host now. So please make sure you give her an amazing round of applause. Is that okay? Yes or yes? Awesome. Okay, so this lady, she's an amazing lady. She's a beautiful lady, and at the same time, she has 2 beautiful kids. Okay, that she loves to playing with. So-called cook with. Okay. I also have 2 beautiful daughters, and one is here. Naomi, say that hi. She's over there. Yeah. Thank you for supporting me. And she's one lady that she's really heartful and really down to earth. At the same time, she really is a coach and really wants to help ladies like you all here today. So how many of you want to learn from her? Please raise up your hand. Awesome. Hey, give me some enthusiasm. How many of you want to learn from her? Okay, so without further ado, let us welcome this amazing, awesome lady, Carol! Okay.
Thank you so much, Andrew. You really flattered me. Yeah, I'm very honored to be here today, and I want to thank the organizers of Make Your Mark, particularly Yaya, the founder, and Andrew for giving me this opportunity to host this segment that's coming up. Well, is it okay if I share a little bit about myself? Yeah, thank you for that. Very much thank you, first of all, for you guys taking time out of your busy schedule to be here tonight. Because there's many different reasons that you shouldn't be here. Spending time with your friend or family, but you chose to be here. Very thankful. We want to bring you guys a lot of value this evening. We have a lineup of amazing female entrepreneurs, and we want to give you a lot of golden nuggets to take away tonight. So to inspire you, perhaps to spur you to make a little change. You don't have to go 100%. Maybe just a little 1 degree change, and and then shift, to have a little shift and go to a different path. That's what we aim to do. So a little bit about myself. My name is Carol. I'm a transformation coach by training. But prior to becoming a transformation coach, I was actually slogging my buttocks off in the corporate world. I was working in a bank, and money was really, really good. But I felt really empty on the inside. Because I felt that I had this fear that one day that I wake up, my life would be all over. So what actually prompted the change for me to start my own business was, of all people, Winston Churchill. Yeah, one of his quotes, he said, "You make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give." That really impacted me a lot. Hence, that's the reason why I started doing my business. I started to look at one of the things that I'm passionate about. I have a makeup artistry certification. I'm interested in makeup. I like dressing up. I like to make people feel good. So can I use this skill set to help, help other women to feel good about themselves? How can I transform them so that they can feel good on the inside and on the outside as well? And through this journey, I met a lot of amazing, amazing women. And the four speakers who will be joining me on stage tonight. They are the ones who have inspired me and also changed my life as well. So without further ado, if I may, I will introduce you to the first speaker. Okay. So this lady, I got to know her, I think, slightly over 10 years ago. She's a chiropractic doctor. Okay. A Canadian living in Singapore, and she practically can call herself a Singaporean now. Yes, and she has a heart of gold. She's passionate about sports and fitness. She's passionate about helping other people. And most importantly, she's a mother of 4 children. Wow. Yeah, really amazing. And she has this heart to give. So if I may introduce her, this will be Dr. Shara Downey. Dr. Shara will give an introduction about herself. Let's hear from her.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm so honored to be here. So as Carol mentioned, my name is Dr. Shara Downey, and I help female entrepreneurs to share their message, grow their business, and to really help and transform other people by crafting their signature talk. So they're not only inspiring other people, but actually motivating them to take action. Because there's a bit of a difference, right? A lot of times we get inspired and then we go home and nothing happens. But we want actually people to be inspired and to have motivation to take action. And so this came about for me in very interesting, I say interesting now because I've gone through it, a very interesting way. And I'd like just to share that with you. In 2014, I had my second son. And I own my own practice. I was in Singapore. I'd been here for 7-8 years. I was so excited. Things were going well. And so I brought in another doctor to run the practice while I was on leave. Now, my first son was born 2 years before. Things were great. I was on leave for a year. I worked part-time. Everything was wonderful. So, of course, this should happen again, right? I don't think so. So when I hired this new doctor, she had a very great personality. She clicked with the patients, and things were going well. And so I went on to my leave, and I had my son. And after about a week and a half, I would get a phone call. Dr. Shara, the numbers are going down. So I thought, okay, I'll give her some time. She needs to warm up to the patients. Dr. Shara, nobody's coming back. They're waiting for you to come back from leave. And so now it's week 2 and week 3, and I'm starting to get a little bit panicked. So for any of you who own a business, you understand that your business needs to bring in new revenue every month, correct? So I was a little bit nervous. And so by week 4, I decided to go take a look. And so I went into the practice, and I met with patients, and I spoke with them, and I spoke with my assistant, and I found out that our clinic revenue had dropped 70%. 70, not 17, 70 in 4 weeks. How do you pay bills when you drop revenue 70%? So now I'm not even worrying about staff, I'm talking about my own bills. What do you do? So I immediately went back to work full time after 4 weeks after my second son. And I was very panicked and very fretful. And every day my mind was very worried about what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? It was the hamster in the wheel in my mind. That doesn't get you anywhere. And so I slowly started to think about what really helps you to grow a business and what really clicks for people. Well, it's talking to people. It's letting them get to know who you are and what you do. And so that's what I started to do. I started to get out there, get my message out there, and to share. But you know, when you go one-on-one, 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 it's very tiring. And I had 2 children at the time, so I didn't have a lot of time. And so what I discovered is there weren't a lot of people that really knew how to do this well and would come to me and ask, well, how can you go do a health talk and get half the room to book as new patients? How are you booking new patients from just doing a webinar online? I do talks all the time. I hardly get anyone to walk through my doors. And that's sort of how this part of my business was born. So within 3 months, we not only became profitable, we actually went back up to 100% of our revenue where we were before. So much so that within 2 years of that time, we sold that practice for over 6 figures. Thank you. So I really, really, really love that opportunity to share with others and to help them so that they can really get their message across the world. And so I hope that tonight you guys get a few glimpses and nuggets from all of us that will help you do the same. Thank you very much. Can I do a fun selfie? I want to do a selfie, Carol. Thank you. It's always an honor to be able to speak for people, so when we get the chance, we like to do our selfies. Everyone smile. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shara. Okay, well, the next speaker, she is, I would say, pint size, but don't let the size fool you. She is a woman of immense power. Immense power. I knew her when we were kids. Yeah, and she is passionate about dancing. She wanted to be a dancer, a performer, you know, to share herself with the world. And she believes in working hard for what she wants. Even though she is powerful and strong, but there are also times where she's vulnerable and feeling depressed as well. The thing about her is, what I love about her is the fighting spirit. That she said, you know what? I don't care. I will just get up and get going. And so, it's my honor to bring forth the next speaker, Natalie Nancy Tan.
Hi everyone, good evening. How are you doing? Good? Only this side, that side, like, have you had dinner yet? No? Okay, get yourself drunk. Then you forget about dinner. Hi everyone, my name is Natalie. As what Carol said, we were actually childhood friends, and I remember we were in same Chinese dance class, right? Something like that. So I've always wanted to be a dancer, a performer, and I used to envy her. She's like tall, pretty, even when she was like a child. So I always envy her. I was like, how I wish I can be like her. Having said that, like I said, I want to be a dancer, a performer. Unfortunately, the career I'm in now is similar but different. I am a dance fitness instructor, and please help me to welcome my students. Thank you for coming to support me. It's my first time. I'm actually very, very nervous. So I've never wanted to teach because, as I said, I want to be a dancer. I want to be a performer. I am a little bit of a show pony. I like the limelight. So trying very hard to actually become a dancer in Singapore, but I guess it's quite difficult, especially when you do not have the right network, when you do not know the right people. So I come into teaching dance fitness when I was looking for a job. I've never really wanted to work in 9 to 5 because I feel that I'm not a desk-bound person. I tried that before because everyone was like, you are in your mid-30s, so what do you want to do? Do you want to continue to drift through life and dance your life away? Because a lot of people find that dancing is not a proper job. right? So I was like, okay, fine. I already mid-30s. What should I do? So I tried. I tried to go into corporate jobs. I was in customer service for 5 years, but during that 5 years, I was dying inside. I was like, where's my passion of becoming a dancer? Where am I going to have a chance to perform on the world stage and stuff? So after 5 years, I decided to give it up because I couldn't take that walking corpse anymore. I was like, no, I want to do something else. And I bumped into a girlfriend of mine. She's also a Zumba instructor now. So she was like, why don't you come to Zumba? And I was like, I don't think I'm good enough to teach. So having a lot of self-doubts doesn't help. However, because I need to survive, money is very real, right? So I was like, okay, let me try this. And I will find a job at the same time. So I remember I almost gave up during my first lesson because there's so many songs to learn. In a dance class, if you have been to a proper dance class, the structure is that we do a start-stop. So you'll practice, and then maybe 4 lessons, you only learn 1 song. But for dance fitness exercise, in an hour cardio, you have to learn about 14 to 16. So as you can see, my brain is so big, so I couldn't really remember a lot. It was such a struggle. I almost gave up, but I'm glad I didn't. I pushed through, and after that, things are history. And also because of my students, I'm still here today, going strong. So thank you, everyone. I'll see you later.
Thank you, Natalie. Okay, next up, this is a lady that I have a chance to meet a few months ago, but we just clicked. She is a socialpreneur and an abundance coach. When I heard about the story, how she got started to become a coach, I'm very, very inspired because she has a heart to serve and a heart to give. So, and she has been through a lot of struggles in her life. And through all these struggles, she found this particular principle, which is the Diamond Cutter principle, where she adopted to change her life totally around. And with that principle that she applied onto her clients to help them to see results as well. So, are you amazed about this woman? Definitely, right? Yeah, and she has given me quite a lot as well in terms of inspiring me to pursue the path that I was so worried to pursue myself. And she's going to bring you a lot of golden nuggets today, definitely. Let's join our hands together and welcome Miss Viola Lee.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Okay, firstly, I have to thank the organizers, Andrew, Yaya, and of course Carol as well. When Carol first approached me to do this, I was like, are you sure I can do this? I started to have a lot of doubts about myself. But throughout these past few years, especially after I graduated from university, I was doing a lot of events. So I was in the events industry for about 8 years plus. But mostly during that period of time, I wasn't the happiest because I felt that I was living a life for my parents. I mean, I'm not putting any blame on them, but as a child, we have the responsibility to live for people around us, and I felt that that was something that kept me going. To a certain extent, it kept me going. But I discovered that throughout my school life, all the way up to when I was working, I was never the person who was able to be in front of people. I was never the person who was always, the top student and stuff like that. But I was always struggling to the point that I was always a nearly person. To put it that way, like nominations, top 3, I'll be inside. But I'll never be the one who emerged as a champion. And I started to question a lot about myself and answers in my life. And I discovered that actually a lot of these imprints go back to as young as we were 3. Certain instances that happen in our life because of some of the situations that we made out of, that we created stories about. It actually can become obstacles and challenges towards what you are achieving or what you are doing in life now. So I began to look back at certain of these instances and I had to make peace with it. I had to embrace myself, not only what I do now, embrace not only the positive side, but embrace the most vulnerable. And that's why acceptance was one of the key messages that I discovered. And because of this message, I've actually shared with many people, with Carol, with Jenny, with Julie, and a lot of ladies here who know me personally as a friend, and to help them to really, through embracing and accepting themselves for who they are, they actually discover the nature of their being. They start to understand what really means to them, what are their values, what are their key things in their life that can bring them to move forward, and also to become inspirations for not only themselves but for other people. So that's why I'm here today, and I'll be sharing more and through Carol's guidance. So over to you, Carol.
Thank you, Virginia. We have 3 speakers on stage right now, and I'm going to introduce the last speaker. Now, she's an Australian living in Singapore, living in Asia for the past 20 years, a director in a business consultancy, and she's a world citizen. And what I love about her is she has this rock chick persona. And she's cool, she's lovable, she has this cool demeanor, but don't let that fool you. She has a heart of gold. She's always giving. And I know how she struggled in her business. Lots of struggles, and I'll leave it to her to share that with you. As a matter of fact, today she's actually not feeling well, but she made it, yeah. And I appreciate her for doing that, grateful for that. So let's put our hands together to welcome Miss Deborah Collins.
Wow, what an introduction. Thanks. Wow, I really am honoured to be here, and especially after these amazing ladies, I'm really, I'm not sure how I could start, but one of the reasons that they've asked me to come and speak is how to overcome some challenges. Now, every one of us has challenges in our lives, and you probably sort of figured from the way I'm dressed is I'm a little bit more casual, a little bit more down to earth. I ride Harleys. So that's Harley Davidson, so if nobody knows what that is, motorcycles. And about 18 months ago, I had quite a severe accident. Not on my Harley, thank God, but on another bike. And one of the things that I found is that after this accident, it really started to, I questioned who I was. I questioned everything about my life, and, you know, it was very severe. I have 2 plates and 9 screws in my knee. So at one stage, I actually started to wonder, was I ever going to walk again? What do I need to do in order to get me through this? And, you know, while I had a very supportive husband and a lot of supportive friends, you still wonder in your own mind, you know, how are you going to get through this? So at one point, I was actually spiraling and I started to get quite depressed. I started to think to myself, you know, I'm never going to walk again, this is not going to work for me, and self-doubt is one of the major things. And what I realized is, in order for me to get out of this, I need to actually start thinking differently. I need to start changing my mindset. And I went through a number of different things myself, and I started to go online and look at different I guess motivational, inspirational quotes on how to actually move forward, and basically started to unlock an amazing life. So through that journey, it was a process of step by step. I had to break it down. It wasn't as simple as going from one avenue and then just all of a sudden I could walk. I had to go 2 to 3 times a week to physio. And it was painful. It was really painful. And there was times that I just did not want to go through it. But I realized in order to get to the goal that I wanted to achieve, I needed to go through those. And I needed to break down, what is the first step? What is the next step? And eventually, 8, 9 months later, as you can see, I'm walking, thank goodness. So, but all of us have those challenges, yeah, and it's not just about an accident that happens. We need to actually move forward. So one of the things that they've asked me to do is just, come and talk about how we move forward, how to unlock your amazing life and take it step by step. So thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. So this particular segment that we're going to have right now is on the topic of what it takes to rise up. So this is going to be an interview and panel discussion among us, and there will be a few minutes of a Q&A after this. If you have something, do write it down, and then you can actually ask your question to the speakers on stage. All right. So let's get started. Okay. You guys have talked a little bit about how you got started, but I think it would be nice to share with the audience. It's like why did you go into entrepreneurship? Right? So Shara, would you like to start first?
I would actually say I'm a reluctant entrepreneur. I was kind of kicked in the backside into it. So when I moved to Singapore, I actually had a job, I had a contract, and when the contract was finished, I'm not sure if you're aware, if you're on an employment pass, you have 2 weeks to find another job. And so in the loving brilliance of my husband at the time, he said, oh, let's just start a business. Just like that, overnight. We got a credit card and we started our business, but we really didn't know what we were doing. And for us, it was more a means to an end of being able to survive and to stay here. So I think if I look back on my life and at all the other opportunities I've had, they tend to be entrepreneurial, but I would never say that I was going to jump into this head first.
Right. As I told you earlier, I'm not a desk bound person, so what else can I do? So I decided to work on my own. So I'm not good at taking orders from my boss. During my customer service days, I walked straight into my boss' room and I just told her in her face that I don't agree with what you're doing. It's amazing that she didn't fire me at that time. So because in my career, so my chosen field, if you're not with a gym, then most likely you are self-employed. So that's where, and also knowing my character, myself, I know that I'm not able to work a desk job. So I choose to be a self-employed and work my way up from there. Of course, there are many challenges along the way, but with help and also with hard work, it can be overcome.
For myself, actually since school, I've always thought of wanting to come out and do something on my own. The ideas range from doing having cafes to become the next YouTube star, and so all these ideas had been in my mind for many years. Even as I was doing corporate events, mostly what really actually pushed me into the direction of entrepreneurship was I realized how simple an intention and an idea can spread. So what happened was about 3 years ago, a friend and I actually went to Cambodia. And all we had in mind was we wanted to give houses to the people there. So with faith, with very strong faith and ideas and just sharing with people, we actually started by gifting 6 houses, and that was 3 years back. So what happened was that about 2 months ago, we actually went back to check how many houses have we actually helped to contribute to Cambodia. So with a lot of friends from China, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, we realized that we have actually gifted 67 houses. So we have actually transformed 57 families and their lives. And that was when we realized that I need to do something about this. I need to put the message out there. I need to share with people that it is possible with the purest of intention and hearts. And the understanding of that people are there for us to help, but they are actually giving us the opportunities to do so. So that is really something that drives me towards entrepreneurship. Of course, with the help of my mentor as well, Eugene, he really kicked my butt many times to do this as well. So I'm really very grateful and thankful to be here.
Okay, so after the accident, that was one of the things that I realized that, I hated my job. Actually, I liked my job, I just didn't like my boss. He was not very nice, and I realized that I needed to do something for myself. And most people have always said, I wish I could run my own business. So a bit like some of the ladies here, I was sort of accidentally pushed into it. Without meaning to, I decided I'm going to actually start being my own consultant and talking to people, because a lot of people are stressed, yeah, and especially here in Asia, we tend to be under a lot of pressure to stay after hours, get the job done, and sometimes that's till 9, 10, in my case it was 1, 2 in the morning, and then start again all over. So for me, it was a realization that I wanted to do something for myself, for my family, and the step to go into that was really was a good impetus for me to actually move forward. So,
Well, these are, when you talk about entrepreneurship, a lot of people will have all sorts of excuses in a way, or telling themselves, well, I don't think I can do it because I'm no longer young. Or I don't think I can do it because I have a family, right? So I want to throw this question to both Natalie and Fiona. It's like, do you think, not having kids in this part of your life, does it make it easier for you to step up into entrepreneurship?
Not having kids, whether it's easier to start? Actually, not really. I've seen my, Dr. Shara. She is very driven. She has 4 children. So I've also seen individuals who have not much of family burden, but they are just happy to so-called drift through life. So it really very much depends on yourself, on individual mindset, whether what do you want for yourself. If you want something more than what you have now, then of course you have the added advantage of not having family burden. But having said that, doesn't mean that having a family, you can't have it all. Look at Dr. Cheryl here, I have to quote her as an example. So it is really depends on how much driven you are and how much family support you get. So regardless you have family or not, you have children or not, I think it is doable.
I would definitely second Natalie's thoughts and what she shared. The key is that drive is up to a person's mindset. So whether your kids may end up in your motivation, your family may become your motivation to actually spur you on to do this instead. Some people who, personally for myself, my parents are my motivation, but because sometimes I really feel as well, I still tend to give myself excuses. Yeah, because I feel that, okay, even if I don't do this, it's fine. But the thing is, then I have to remember my intention and why I'm doing this. So it goes back to the intention, your mentality, the mindset, and the steps that you are taking every day. Are you sharing with a new person? Are you inspiring them? Are you helping people in some way and value adding in their lives? So ultimately, entrepreneurship is not one day I decide to wake up and say, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur. But it's a journey, it's a process. Sometimes we have to ask ourselves that, why are we doing this today? Why am I doing it correctly? Or we have to check in. In fact, I would say every day, is this really what we want to do? That's what entrepreneurship is about.
Okay, then I'd like to address the next question to the two expat ladies sitting on the stage, right? Because a lot of people have this misconception about expat living in Singapore. They think that, they have an abundance of money and cash flow. So, for both Shara and Deborah, what are the boons and banes for expats like yourself living and starting a business here in Singapore?
Okay, as an expat, sure, you have a lot of added expenses, I guess, and added areas where you don't have that support system from home. I think one of the main things for myself is you have to have a thick skin. I think you have to really just move forward anyway. And I think the best thing is just to keep moving forward no matter what. And one of the reasons for that is because you don't have a network of people, you don't know people here, so you have to reach out, you have to be open and friendly and talk to new people all the time. So the other thing is, the longer that you're here in Singapore, the lower your salary gets. So I'm actually what they call a local expat, if that's the term. where I'm not on an expat package. I've never been on an expat package. I've never had my own home or school or anything paid for. But I'm also not a local, so I'm sort of in between. But I think that also gives you an advantage as well, because then people see your face and they actually do have a little bit more open-minded. Singaporeans are very, very open people and very lovely. It's just a matter of once you approach them, sometimes they're a little bit standoffish until they get to know you. So I think that's the main thing is, with the Western face, you're a little bit more open to talk. So that was my experience anyway.
Wow, okay. Well, when I came to work here, I also wasn't on an expat package. It was actually purely commission. And my husband couldn't find work when he came here, so I was the sole provider for the family. So for us, having a business and making it successful there was no option. It had to be done. We also had the mind that we're in this lovely country and nation, and we want to immerse with the people here and really have the cultural experience. So, like, my children are in local school, they were in local kindergarten. If you close your eyes, you would never imagine that they're Westerners because they have perfect Singlish. And my son takes mother tongue of Chinese, and he's not Chinese by any stretch of the imagination. So when we started our business, I think the benefit is that financially Singapore is in a great location, and it's a good bridge between East and West. And the kind of work I do, being a chiropractor, is a very East-West mentality. So I found a lot of people here really understood quite quickly what I did. Unlike Deborah, when people look at me here, they don't know what I am. So they don't know if I'm Singaporean or if I'm from India, or they don't know where I'm from. And then when I speak, it really confuses them even more because they have a Western voice. Did you train there? Are you from Singapore, or did you live there? Like, people don't know what's going on. So I kind of call myself Heinz 57, and I keep people guessing. So the biggest thing I found when I came here and started this business is I really got in touch with a lot of local community events. I played basketball with the men's Chinese league. They spoke all Mandarin. We played in Tokayo. I would have a tiger beer with them. I wouldn't know what they're saying, And so it was a really wonderful cultural experience to just immerse myself into the culture.
Well, cool, thank you. Okay, the biggest obstacles a lot of entrepreneurs face, it's cash flow and funds. And a lot of people, contemplate starting a business because they think that by starting a business, I need to have a lot of money, right? So the question is for the four of you, it's like, how did you get past that, the funding to start your business? And how much have you invested in your business so far since you started?
Well, with my first business, we literally registered with ACRA for $1. And whatever limit was on my Amex credit card at the time is what the investment was. So I think about $5,000. And, I didn't know at the time about forecasting and how many months ahead should I have savings, because that probably would have freaked me out. So we just took the leap of faith, and I really say it was on wings and a prayer. I would believe that people have a bigger imagination for what they actually require than you do. Is it good to have a safety net? Is it good to have cash flow or savings? Of course, but you can't let that stop you from starting. Because the minute you take one foot in front of the other and that momentum gets going, you actually attract a lot of that to you, which you wouldn't even imagine.
I think because I started with this program called Zumba Fitness, so I have to get myself certified. That's the trainer course, which is about USD $350, close to $500. And because I don't have the Zumba apparel, I was told that, to be a certain program instructor, you better dress like one. So that's my investment. All in all, it's about less than about $800. So that's how I start my business, so to speak. Other than that, I don't really have any capital to run on. Yeah.
For my case, it's a little bit special, I guess. I believe entrepreneurship can be done anywhere, anytime. As long as you have a laptop, you have a computer, you have an idea, a concept, you can start your own business. And
So for me, it wasn't it wasn't so much investing money into the business, but it's investing yourself into the business. It's investing your dreams, your aspirations, what you want to do, who you want to touch. So for me, really, it's just like what Dr. Sharma was saying, it's just starting up the company, but that's really about it. And of course, we have to hustle. So it is about us investing ourselves more than what we are putting in physically, I believe.
Yeah, actually, I agree with Fiona. Basically, you don't need to put in a lot of money to actually start. You do need a laptop. Everyone has a mobile phone. There's heaps of networking events. I mean, we even have one lady here who's from the UK, and she saw our event tonight and she came along. So you don't need a lot of money to actually start. It's more about, connecting with people, talking one-on-one, and, moving from there and then going further from that. So.
How many times have you felt lost and that you want to give up running a business?
Every day. It's going through the process, like when you're in a corporate job, you have that safety net, you have that money coming in, and you don't have to worry, like if you waste 5 minutes or 10 minutes or half an hour. But in your own business, you have to worry about what's next. Who are you talking to? When is the next meeting coming in? A lot of different things. So I think, it's just like you've got to get through that mindset. And at the end of the day, you have to figure out, where do I want to go? What do I want to achieve? And keep moving forward to that goal and that desire, because, to be energized to actually go to that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I agree with Deborah. It's every day. In fact, it's more than one time a day. Definitely, there'll be many times when you start thinking and questioning ourselves: is this really what I do? Will this turn out okay? Is this the way to go? But the thing that really keeps me going for a lot of aspects is that understanding our message, being consistent with the message that we want to deliver to people, to really get up, turn up, and show up. Yeah, so that's what really keeps me going. And from conversations that I have with many precious people, including Carol herself, is that we realize that the value we add to people is not just in the business, but it's in the interaction and connection with them. And that really inspires not only people, but inspires ourselves. That what we are doing is all worth it. It's all meant to be. Yeah.
Am I supposed to say every day? That's like the attitude, SOP answer. Every now and then I'll say, especially when you're emotionally tired, when you're physically tired, when you feel that you cannot get yourself to another class anymore, because we are all humans, we have emotions. Sometimes we do have good days and bad days, especially during your bad days. Yet you still have to present yourself the best in front of your students and say that, hey everyone, let's get going. But you say, oh my god, because you don't know what to do. Every day in and out, you are rushing. You are going from class to class. You have no time to think about, is this what you want? All you care about, especially for self-employed, is that you cannot stop, because one class is one income. So it's like you're so busy, and sometimes at the end of, especially when you go home lonely at night, raining, so you're taking a bus home, rain, imagine that scenario. You find out, okay, what am I doing this for? You felt lost because you don't know what to do with your life. This is what you want. This is what you want. But after that, I think what we all share together is that after you cry, you get emotional, your emotion comes down, you wake up the next day, okay, let's go, let's get to work again. So it is a lot of like every now and then, right?
Thank you. I would say ditto to everything I heard here. But the biggest time I would say I felt lost is when there's a lack of clarity and lack of focus. So if you know very clearly what you want, and Fiona mentioned earlier about actually why you want it, you can be tired, you can have a bad day, but that doesn't mean you're lost, because you still feel motivated to keep going. I felt lost when I didn't have clarity, and so one of the transitions for me out of the practice into the coaching for speaking entrepreneurs, there's a few other kind of elements that came in because a lot of people would ask about other elements of business. Well, sure, I can, business coach and do all these other things, but they're not my passion. My passion was speaking. And so until I really got clear about what I wanted and why I wanted it and how I could help people and serve them best, you feel a little bit lost. And I think just as our dear friend Jennifer Aniston says, you can take one day to cry and cry the whole day and get it all out, eat some bonbons if you have to, but then the next morning you wake up and it's a fresh new day and you get going.
Hey, thank you. So any questions from the floor? No? Okay, just another 2 more questions for me and then we can wrap this out. What is the greatest fear that you face right now with regards to your line of your business in particular? The greatest fear.
My greatest fear is actually not doing what I'm meant to do. That fear is greater than anything else.
In my career, I think my greatest fear is that I'll break my leg one day because this is my insurance. This is because I actually teach fitness for a living. So adding on to what Dr. Shah said is that you don't know if what you're doing is what you're meant to do. Besides that, also, of course, the practical side is that I will, injure myself and I can never dance or walk again. That's a very real fear to me. Before I decided to go on this path, I discovered a fear that I had. And this fear was a very innate fear of success. It's very real. You don't hear people really saying that much, but it is possible. It's possible to be fearful of being successful. And once I realized that I had this fear, I immediately embraced myself. And what I did was that I realized that we have a message to share with people, which is about acceptance, embracing ourselves in totality, not only ourselves and people around us as well. And turning our fears into our strengths, actually that's the key. Whatever we are most fearful of is something that we can excel in. We just have to understand how.
So for myself, it's actually self-doubt. I think, as women in general, we also have a lot of self-doubt, and we also have a lot of feelings from other women of judgment, and not just on ourselves, but what do they think? What are they thinking about me? And you really have to just get past that. And I think one of the ways to do that is to actually keep yourself inspired, keep yourself moving forward. As I said, just keeps moving forward. And I came across a quote that I really love, and the quote is, "People say motivation doesn't last." Well, neither does shower. That's why we have to have one every day, right? So I like that quote because I figured to myself, well, in order for me to keep going towards my goal is I need to keep myself inspired. I need to keep, I think there's a question.
Hi, I'm Gurjit, so I'm Malay from the UK. Thank you. So, I love listening to you lovely ladies, very inspiring. So I've got a question for you. One of the things I always think about is in order to help others, you have to help yourself, right? So what keeps you accountable when you've already sort of touched upon it a little bit, you get to that, what keeps you going and actually motivates yourselves to do this?
I have a trend here in starting. I think I have some daily practices that I perform, and I can honestly say without fail, there's 5 of them. I might miss one, but at least 3 or 4. And that's with 4 kids. And I do them without fail for no other reason that I feel better. I'm in a better mood. I can be a better mother. I can be better to the people around me. But the minute my attitude changes, I know that something's been off with those daily practices. So even if I don't feel like doing them, they're done no matter what. They're non-negotiables.
Right. As you know, teaching dance fitness is not my first choice of career. So what kept me in this business is actually really is my students. They are my motivation to get up every day because there are times where, okay, I'm getting emotional. Because there are times where I feel physically very tired and emotionally tired as well because we lack of clarity. But every time I go to class, when I see, it could be, a bad day for them, but they look forward to class because they can sweat it out. And the minute you get into class, and you start seeing your students smiling at you, anticipating, that's what kept me going day after day. Otherwise, I don't think I'll be in this business for this long. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to my students. If we believe that every person that we meet come across, that they are our teachers instead, that we realize that we are learning from everybody around us. And that's the thing that keeps me going, one of the things. The second one is that when we realize that anytime, any single sentence or words that you say may change someone's lives. So that's the thing that keeps me going, because I've had many friends that have come to me a few months later or a few years later and said, and maybe they are sharing on a stage somewhere else, and then they suddenly mention my name. I'm like, did I actually say that? You mean I actually told you that? I can't even remember those conversations that we had, but it has impacted many people's lives in different ways. That's what keeps me going.
So one of the things that I think keeps me going is a lot of times when we're about to take a step forward, we say to ourselves, well, what if the worst happens? What if this doesn't work out? What if I fail? Well, for me, I would say to myself, well, what if it works? And I switch it around. What if this actually works? Like, how amazing would that be? And if I fail, then hopefully I'll learn something from that and I can change. But if I keep thinking, what if this isn't going to work, then I'm never going to do anything. And, like a lot of people say to me now, like after my accident on the Harley especially, are you riding? Hell yeah. That was the first question after my surgery. I said to the doctor, when can I get back on my bike? And he was like, are you crazy? But I'm still on my bike and I'm still riding. But I figured to myself, people say, why would you do that? Aren't you afraid? Well, yeah, I am, of course. But I feel the fear and I do it anyway. Because if I don't, I'm never going to do what I want to do in my life. So that's what keeps me motivated is, yeah, feeling it doing it.
Hi, I'm Jenny here. I just want to talk you four ladies for the inspiring stories that you all have a background, a very strong women which I admire, so thank you for that. My question is, as entrepreneurs, we know that life is not easy. We have our goals, we have our dreams, but at times it doesn't go out the way it is. So when you come across resistance and objections, can you share with us how you move through that? Because sometimes we make the path and the goals and we see that happening, but it doesn't. I mean, that's the real world. So we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you for that question. That's a great question. I think the easiest way to answer that is as long as you accept that your path is not going to be straight, that it will be a zigzag line, that firstly helps already. Because then you're looking and open to when obstacles happen as to how to overcome them. If you're not ever expecting anything to go wrong, I think that's a bigger slap in the face and a bigger shock, I think, in the morning. So firstly, I think just being open to what may come. You have your goals, you plan your path, but you have to be open to what may come. And I think secondly, for myself, similar to Deborah, if I'm challenged, I take it on. And I love it. I love it. Because I learn from it. And so because of that, I look forward to a challenge because I know I'm going to get something new from it and it's going to give me a completely new perspective and open things up that I may never have imagined and open a path that's even faster than what I've even looked for myself. So I look forward to it now. It took me some time to get there. It wasn't always something that I loved, but I look forward to the learning from it.
I like that how real we can get because we don't have diplomatic answers. Because I was told that, sometimes in seminars you cannot say certain things because you don't want to offend anybody, but I love it how real we can be and all the real questions are coming in. Obstacles and struggles are very real. We face it every day, even in my line of work. So for myself, I think especially after a series of setbacks, obstacles, and you're wondering, why are you not getting the opportunity that someone has? Or, someone backstab you. Or, someone badmouth about you. It is very real. So for me, I would definitely get emotional about it because I'm very emotional. So I will probably whine and cry and have a beauty party somewhere. And after that, right, I'll talk to someone. I'll talk to maybe someone who knows me, someone who has a clearer picture of what's going on. And one thing I learned is that because we stare at a closed door for so long, we forgot that there's an open door behind. So what kept me going and what overcome is that, okay, I will reflect upon what have I done wrong or what could I have done better. Sometimes it's not me. Sometimes it just so happen that things just don't happen the way you want it. So I guess to digest and accept that bad things do happen is very important. And of course, having said that, once your emotion comes down, you are able to think better. You have more clarity, talking to someone help, and from there you move on again. So it's just another day. So tell yourself it's just another day. It's a bad day. It's not a bad year whatsoever. And think pass. These too shall pass too. Most importantly is don't give up. Keep your emotion health in check. Don't get yourself spiral down. And try to be around people that really love you and give you honest feedback. So after that, accept it, move on.
Actually, what Natalie has said is very important, which is understanding our emotions. It's okay when we face setback, but firstly you have to see what kind of emotions we are facing. The next thing is that if something isn't going right, we have to ask ourselves, is this something that we enjoy? And the second part is, what is it in it that we don't enjoy? Because ultimately is that I believe everybody in this world will want to do something that they enjoy and make money out of it, right? So how can we find a balance between that? Doing something we enjoy, making money out of it, and if it doesn't work out, we have to understand why it doesn't work out, or where are all these rejections actually really coming from? Are there things that we can tweak? Are there things that we can adjust, balance, and then to work on ourselves, to go back to our intentions of why we are doing certain things. Go back to why did we even start this in the first place? That is the key. Once we go back to our intentions, actually we realize that the emotions will actually tend to be lesser than what it was. And after going back to the emotions, what should we find and balance ourselves, take a rest, take a break, enjoy a drink. After that, carry on.
Okay, so overcoming a lot of challenges, I think the first step is you cry. And you get frustrated and you go through that whole range of emotion, but it's how quickly you can get through that. Then the second thing is you have to self-evaluate. How could I have done something differently? What is the next step? What can I do different? And for me, one of the biggest things is surround yourself with people who encourage you, that are supportive. And we have some amazing women in this room right now, right? You guys are giving a lot of love right now, so thank you. And go and find more of those people because, we have a lot of people out there that just want to tear us down. We have, our bosses, we have our colleagues, we have, even the news, you get discouraged and upset by what's happening in the world. But if you're surrounded by people who are there for you, who can, understand and can even help move you forward, that is amazing. So if you have that, really hold on to it. And if you don't, go find it. Go to more networking events, especially, women's networking events. You'll find there's a lot of very amazing women out there. Okay.
Thank you so much. You are amazing speakers. So this marks the end of our segment. But stay tuned. I'm going to invite on stage the next speaker. Thank you.
You have to start doing what you need to do right now in order for you to be successful, for you to move forward, and give your family, your children, your children's children something to aim for, something that they can aspire to and look up to. I mean, we look at a lot of very successful women in the world. It's always good to look at what they've done and say, well, how did they do it? And it wasn't a massive, massive change. It was just something small done every single day. And I think that's the biggest thing, is you have to do something small every single day, because that small change, just even minute, can actually make such a huge impact.
I hope you guys are very inspired. 4 speakers, a lot of golden nuggets to take away. But there's more. Yes, coming to our next speaker. She is a master in the financial industry. She started out her career in Bloomberg, and after that moved on to different banks, international banks, having different portfolios in banks like Bank of Scotland, HSBC, ABN AMRO, just to name a few. She's a mother of 2, loving mother of 2, a dancer at heart. She loves dancing. Yeah, if you look at her, you would have never thought that she is a financial planner. She looks like a model. Yes, and we are very, very pleased to have her here to join us, to share with us on financial and wealth. Right? So let's put our hands together to welcome our next speaker, Gayatri.
Do I need to stand there or can I stand? I'll just stand here, ladies. Is that alright? I feel more connected to you after such a heart-bearing session. Thank you so much for the gracious introduction. Don't know whether I deserve it, but I'll take it with all my heart. Thank you. It was, it's very heartwarming and gratifying to share the stage with big giants of the industry. Oh my God, the ladies were amazing. So could we have a round of applause for the ladies the speakers who bared their soul, shared their hearts. Thank you so much. I'm just a pause for the ladies. I'm just here. Money is not everything, yeah, but everything is money. So I'm just going to be sharing my journey, what got me here, and why am I doing what am I doing? Because that seems to be the theme for tonight, yeah. Why are you doing what you're doing? So I had like so much of notes, but I'm just going to detour from that to tell you what got me here. I wanted to always be a dancer, and I thought I'm going to be a millionaire dancing away. But guess what? When I was a small child, nobody told me, you shouldn't dream like this. So I wanted to be a Bollywood actress at one point of time, and then I wanted to, I wanted people to come and watch me, and then they would say, yeah, I'll pay anything to watch Gayatri. But all realities comes into play when you start your workforce, and people don't really, it doesn't really matter how good you are. Because you have to carry that goodness with all that confidence and courage. So I found myself in a financial industry. So I thought, you know what, let's just make the money first and then let's just chase the dreams. But what beautifully happened was I actually started to fall in love with it. And it kind of gave me so much of energy and hype. I actually felt like after I finished my day's work, I can go and dance again. So I started dancing with money, and I started meeting people. That's what got me really hooked up in this industry. People who were really successful, really wealthy, but they were not afraid to lose because they can make it back all over again. So that got me started. I wanted to be in that position where I can lose it all and I can gain it all back and really master my wealth. So my journey is very humbling. It's only a decade, 10 plus years in this industry. But I'm loving every single bit of it. And if I have your permission, I'm going to be taking the next 20 minutes to share whatever I know, bear whatever I know. But you got to be participative with me if you don't mind it. Yeah. Could we just have that permission that you will play along with me? Yeah. Yeah. So I don't feel lonely and alone over here. So my name is Gayatri, and it's my privilege to be sharing this precious evening with all of you. You could be doing so many other things, but you have chosen to spend it with us, and we hope to make it as precious as possible. So you take back something valuable and you do with it. Okay? So I will just start this particular presentation with what Yaya or what the people who are actually organizing this, they call themselves Make Your Mark. And that's what got me started, because in my moments of meditation, which is my breastfeeding moments, that's when I asked myself one day that if you don't make a dent in this universe, why are you living? So it happens, right? I was just sharing with one of the speakers, you're on the alpha level mode at 3 a.m. I'm like, yeah, where am I living? Right? and that got me. So I journaled the answer down and I said, yeah, I must be so good that people will want to, or I must be so good that I'm able to make some impactful decisions in your lives, right? So in that moment, when I realized make your mark is a very, very profound word in all of our lives. Oh, I suppose so, right? You've asked yourself why you are doing whatever you are doing. And after listening to all the speakers over here, now I realize that money management is not important, but it's something if you learn it, it'll automatically manage itself. So it is just systemizing it, right? So I'm just going to start with a very generic question. Can you just all grab a partner beside you, or 3 or 2? That is fine. A quick question that you're going to ask each other, but just hold the horses for a while, ladies. Yeah, I see the emotions, I see the drinks. Yeah, just hold it. The question is, whatever I'm going to tell you, whatever comes into your mind, either you can write it on your phone. I'm going to give you 1 minute, and I hope the DJ plays some songs for that. Just 1 minute for you to just write whatever keeps coming to your mind when I say this statement, okay? But you cannot look at each other's phone and copy lah, okay? Cannot copy, it must be your own, okay? So I'm going to say the statement. Money is. Please write whatever comes to you. You must at least have 10 definitions of money, at least 10. Money is. What is money to you? Keep writing, ladies, don't stop yourself. You will also be in alpha level after having a drink. So that is your true zone. What is money? Money is lovely. So we have a couple of seconds more to go. Continue to write, don't stop yourself. At least aim to have 10 definitions of money. And if you go more than 10, then you're gonna get an award, okay? So carry on going. I want to see how many of you can beat the 10. We have a couple of more seconds to go, another 20 more seconds. Okay. So I just want to know how many of you have more than 10. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Okay, 5. Good job. 3. But all of you seem to be like really active. I thought they were like 20 or 30. Okay, so at least all of us have minimum 2. Yeah? Okay. Grab the partner beside you and just tell them. So take each of you take turns. Tell them what is money to you. And this is a very, very profound exercise that changes a lot of people's lives, guys. So don't take it lightly. Just share whatever you have written to each other. What is money to you? So the first partner can share with another. Yeah, to share all the pointers that comes to you. Don't copy the other partner yet. And switch, ladies. You can switch now. The other partner shares what is money. Alright, so we will come to our, share your last momentary definitions of money, and then we'll move on to the objective of this game. Okay, lovely. Okay, so why don't you just shout out your answers, ladies? What money is? Power. Money is? Freedom. Sorry? Opportunity. Money is? Keep going. Money is? Freedom. Money is?
Service.
Passion. Oh wow. Money is? Money is love. Money, money, money. It's a rich man's world. Money is? Means to living. Okay, so we had this profound exercise before we were going to go in. And then we started putting all that money in. So actually this exercise goes on for 5-10 minutes. And if you ever journal, I suggest you to keep going on because it actually, the real hidden definition of money comes out to you. So I started, money is fun, freedom, fulfillment, and everything. And said, actually money is evil. Money is actually. So all these hidden self-sabotaging beliefs that doesn't let you become what you should become actually comes out in this exercise. And you start realizing, oh, the only person that is holding my ultimate billionaire life is me. It is not the money. It's not because I don't have an accountant, I don't have a lawyer, or I do not know how to keep money in the bank. It is none of the above. So when this profound, interesting game that we play and we realize, oh my God, it's us. So it's so important for you to have a very clear, as what Dr. Shara and all the other speakers were sharing, having a clear idea what you want out of your money. What do you want it to do? Buy a car, and then what? And then what? And then what? I think that's what coaches do, right? So that's what happened to me in my line of work. I started off being a financial coach because I learned so much from my richer clients and wealthier clients. And I realized that this is a very profound question you want to ask yourself. If you're not making the money that you want to make, then probably there is something that is blocking your path. And you need to understand that, yeah? So the very first smart woman hack that I call it, like I have a little blog, I'll share that with you later. So what we do with that is we kind of have 3 S in it, right? So smart women who manage their money, which all of you are, by default because you're in this event, yeah, so you already are smart. But they always think long term. So people who think of money in short term, they're not able to grow it beyond their exponential limit. But if you think long term, like what am I going to do with the income the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years? Who cares whether you're living, but your money will still live on, right? Because if you're going to make a dent in the universe, you are creating a legacy, right? So what do you want your money to do at the end of the day after you buy all your materials? So that was the first thing we did in our exercise. And the very first thing we did was we started thinking long term. So when my clients or my girlfriends, when we sit together, when we talk about money, because money is a very boring topic. It is not a sexy topic, but guess what? We all are working for it anyway, so why don't we learn to do it right? So long-term vision for a smart woman, what do they do the first? So I call it the 3 S, okay? The first S is system. Do you have a system for your money? Anybody? Any system? Like you, oh, awesome. Anybody else who has a system? Awesome. So that kind of saves a lot of hassle. It could be as simple as having a budgeting date. Every 15th or 31st of the month, I look at what I spend. Simple as that. And that sort of dramatically changed the way me and my husband started spending. Because sometimes I think that I'm only spending $5, but when I wrote it down, it was $500. I said, wow. So $500 comes to be a very big amount in 12 months. So having a little bit of a system, ladies, really, really helps. It could be very, very simple, but just do it. And do it consistently every month. Day in, day out, yeah? So the second S is small. Okay, so how many of us save over here? Save? Oh my God, I love your brutal honesty. Okay, I thought everybody will be putting 2 hands. Okay, guys, you should start saving at some point in time, right? Because if you don't save, then there is no money. But basically, when we start our savings, it doesn't matter how much it is, it must be something consistent. So it could be a piggy bank of $25 and you have been saving since you're 17 and now you're 37. It doesn't matter, but it must be consistent amount because that starts the magic of compounding. Okay, so they're all big jargon words, but I'll try to make it as simple as possible. So what was our first S? System. Very simple system. Have a financial goal first, and then you put in the second S. Just start small, but just do it. Just start small and just do it every month. And it's very powerful because the ladies and the businessmen that I got to meet who are doing very well in their lives, they have the same basics, but they just mastered it, which we take it for granted. And this guy is making $30,000 a day, but he does the same thing. He knows where he spends the money, right? So he bought for me a wine and he put it down on his phone. I was like, what? You're writing it on your phone? Yeah, and he did. And that's why he knows where the money is going out, so he's aware. And the awareness really, really kills the bug, because then you do not self-sabotage yourself, right? So being aware is very important, ladies. So have a little bit of a system. Second is small. Start small, ladies, but just do it, like Nike says it. And it's very powerful, because the first savings that my parents started for me, it kind of funded my dancing education, and it funded my marriage, and then it funded my, after that it got lost because I used it all. But then it helped me fund so many dreams that I live on. So having something small and consistent matters. The amount doesn't matter. So you don't have to save $5,000 a month, but if you can even start with 50, that's awesome, because that has really, really saved a lot of hassle in the future. Okay, and the last S. Okay, so the last S is very, very important. Is self-sabotaging. Have you ever heard that? Yeah? Because we women are emotional beings. So when we look at money, we're very emotional about it, So when you go out, when you have a really, really depressing day, what do you ladies do when you get into a shopping center? Shop till you? And what happens to your credit card and your money? Whoa! The retailers are loving it. Because you end up spending it, right? So the self-sabotaging little details that we have in our life tends to take away the law of attraction of money. Because you think, I can't save, I can't make it. So being aware of your self-sabotaging is very, very simple. Is just to read awesome books. Because then you get to understand your money blueprint, right? You understand how you save, how you spend, how you earn, and how you invest eventually. So these were the 3 S that I wanted to just quickly share with you before I get my husband, Vicky, to just come and give you a paper. Okay, ladies, I told you, right? I promised you that if you just do something simple and something systematic, means when you take it back home today and don't use it as a rag of paper, use it for yourself, you will see lots of benefits, because it has really changed lots of our lives. So I will just pass that paper to you, ladies, and just take a look at it first. I know it has numbers, and now you might already be seeing some stars after some drinks, but don't worry about it. It is just a small exercise. Just take a look at it and see whether you can understand it. If they're not enough, just share it around and just come and just connect with me. I'll send you it over the email, not a problem at all. Okay? So we're just going to do a quick exercise just to share the 3 points as I told you. Let's keep it simple, let's keep it systematic, and let's start small. It's very, very important that you understand the language of money. Right? I will just have, I'll just share this with the lady over here. Okay? So basically, it's called a basic wealth allocation model. We do that with every person who wants to have a better financial system in their life. Thanks a lot, Carol. So, guys, this is very simple, but does it look very simple to you or complicated to you? Simple? Complicated in the middle? Yeah, okay, so it's complicated now. Okay, let's simplify it. Very simple. Ladies, what you see on top is cash flow. So what is cash flow? Money? Yeah, absolutely. It's all about money. Yes, so what does cash flow mean is last time it used to be income, but now the era that we're living in, you could have multiple streams of income, right? You could be a blogger, you could be an author like Carol, having your money coming in every time somebody purchases a book on Amazon. It's no more iron rice bowl concept, right? So nowadays, when we work with entrepreneurs, we have something called the cash flow. Because you need to know how much money goes out, right, before it comes in. Because that's what Dr. Sharon said, it takes a long time before you break even sometimes, some income comes in. So the very first box is what, ladies? The 10%, just checking whether you're with me now. Okay? Emergency funds. Okay, so how many of you actually keep emergency funds? Can I have a show of hands? Okay, very nice. Actually, only those who are listening to me, is it? I just want to know. Is it because I need to take this bottle and try pouring for all of you? Come on, ladies. ladies, play with me. This is important. If you get it, then it's very easy for you. And these percentages that are here, they're all well researched and they follow a Warren Buffett strategy, the richest man in the world. So you're modeling the most richest man in the world, it can't be wrong. And I'm giving it to you for free. So ask me whatever questions you want. So the very first one is emergency funds, 10%. So what comes into here is the amount of money you make every month. Okay, that's how you calculate. The amount of money you make every month comes under the cash flow. And you could be making from different streams. So add all that together and put it over here. Very important. Why? Because you cannot kid yourself by saying, oh, that money is not an income, but you still use it, right? So as long as it comes in, with any services or products you bring in, it becomes your cash flow. Now, the 10% of that income is your emergency fund. So what does that mean? You are not allowed to touch it, no matter what. No matter how depressing the day is, no matter how much your husband is in loss, no. Nobody gets to have that money, not even you, because it's for emergency, right? And most of us take it for granted. So we have given the exact amount of the months. How many months of your income you have to keep it aside? 6 to 9, yes. Ladies, it's very important because when you have that sort of money stashed in, you have the confidence deep down within you to take a lot of brave and courageous steps. And mind me not, this one actually grows more and more because you start making money a lot. And then you know that this portion you will never touch. Okay? The second portion is 15% of your income, and it's called protection. And you can actually do your own calculation in it, and please do, because it's a very simple system. Every 15th and 31st, me and my girlfriends, we actually have a little bit of a chat together over this. So all you can do with your spouse or your partner, every month, it'll be great to have this sort of amount coming up. So 15% is for protection. So what is underneath that box? It is death, critical illness, TPD, everything to do with insurance. Okay? So if you're not a big believer in insurance, that is fine. But this is the amount of money that is going to come back to you when something happens to you, when you're no more employable, which means you can't earn an income with whatever health status you have. So this box is going to give you that monthly income. It's important you have this box ticked off. The third one, which is very, this is something that you have always done, right? Savings. So 25%, right? 25% of your income will go into your savings. Do not save more, do not save less. Try to keep it to 25% because it's very expensive nowadays for you not to save, right? Well, so what do you do with your savings usually? Consume it sometimes, yeah? Do you guys invest? Any of you invest over here? Awesome. Anybody else who invests over here thinking of investing? Yeah, beautiful. So this is where your investment amount comes from, and it's important that you save it even if you don't know how to invest, because one day you will, right? One day you shall, right? Because that is the next step when you get to know your finances really well. Now, the last but not least is something all of us do in a very uncanny manner, and that is your expense. How many of you keep charge of your expenses? In aga-aga, just kind of estimate yourself, how much you spend. Yeah. So most of us usually tend to go above 50% if you're actually aware of your expenses. But if you can keep a tab on this, then you'll understand that this percentage all will vary. Thanks a lot. I just wanted you ladies to know that when you go back home tonight, if you can do this every once a month, once a quarter, once a year at least, it will have a very big financial shift in your mindset. And we see our clients month in, month out, year in, year out becoming better and better. But the income hasn't increased, but suddenly I see more money in their emergency funds, into their savings, into their protection, which never used to be the case. Because every time that is your mindset conditioning, yeah? Every time you actually get into something like this, pen and paper, yeah, you can do it on iPad and phone too, but nothing like writing it down. It has some heart and soul into it. You tend to shift. You tend to, maybe I won't buy that aircon. Maybe I can just do something cheaper. The awareness kicks in. So I hope you ladies use it, and I will see you on the stages of Richmond one of the days, yeah? So that's the last thing that I wanted to share it with you. So as long as you learn to pay yourself, no matter what, that kind of starts it kicking. And as long as you start small, that makes it so much more easier. So I just have one last announcement to make. Sorry, I just wanted to give you the book. Where is the book? Sorry. Somewhere there, okay. I just wanted to show you, for those who are interested in having a great book on your hands, it's a very powerful book that has taught me and my clients a lot of things. Thank you. Yes. So I wanted to, so you all have a little bit of a goodie bag which you can collect it later. But for those people who do not know T. Harv Eker, and it's a great, amazing personality side of this book, whereby Vicky was sharing with me that for Donald Trump, the President of the United States, for him, being a millionaire is poor, right? Being a millionaire is poor. So his aim is to be a billionaire. So the money mindset that we all carry sometimes is in a blind spot. So we need something like this to just kind of prep you up for the next level of your life. So if you are interested in kind of making your financial blueprint a little bit more systematic, you don't want to think about it, you just want the money to come and come and come, and all you do is spend and spend, and you don't know where to spend. You ladies want that? I do. I want to make so much of money that I don't know where to spend. I can only give and give. So please just fill in the form over there. And it's called a book redemption form, so we can actually pass this book to you. Please collect it. We have lovingly got it here to gift it to you ladies, so you can take something back and make your life better than where you are. So make your mark, ladies. It was a pleasure to share this evening with you. And it's lovely. We should catch and connect. And I will pass the stage back to Carol for a lovely evening ahead.
Wow, I am blown away. Thank you, Beatrice. Wow, I mean, this is amazing, isn't it? I was sitting there like taking everything in. Wow, you guys learned something tonight, right? So is it worth the money that you paid? Absolutely, you're getting a lot more. So anyone want free fun? No. Do you want to pay more for the next session? Yeah, okay, I'll call you guys to that. Alright, the next speaker you're going to invite on stage. She is a well-known local personality. Is our guest speaker that we are very grateful that she took time out of her busy schedule to come and share her entrepreneurial journey. Right? She is known in Singapore as an actress. The first Chinese actress who had a successful crossover to the Malaysian channel. Right? And also nominated for awards locally as well. But today, we won't be talking about her accolades as an actress. She'll be here to share with us her new venture, Hooray Pictures. This is her baby, and if you like to hear from her, to get some more golden nuggets, please give her a round of applause. The louder the better, please. Tammy Chu! So I assume it's mine, right? Yes, it is. Thanks, you might be a different color, but it's the same. Good. Thank you for having me. So we're gonna sit. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and share your journey with us. Because while a lot of us who are watching local TVs, you're definitely a well-known face. So when I heard from the organizers that Tammy Chu is going to grace our event, and I'm like, wow, okay. And I guess it's like for you being an actress, the transition from acting into filmmaking is kind of natural, isn't it? Yeah. And the thing is like is that the reason why you started the company?
Okay, the reason why I started Hooray Pictures, it's a very interesting story. Before I actually went full-time into acting, I was actually doing part-time work somewhere near this place, in a shipping company. Because like a lot of Singaporeans will be like, should I pursue my passion? Should I pursue financial stability? So what I did was I tried a balance. So I had a part-time job and I was acting. I was kind of pushed into full-time acting and pushed into entrepreneurship. So what happened was my company decided to leave Singapore. So I was like, retrenched. So then I went full-time into acting, but because acting is not very, I would say stable, when I have a show going on, I'll be busy for like 5 months, 4 months, and then after that I'll have a quiet time. I'm like, what should I do in between? And as actors, we're more, as women, we're already a bit emotional, right? And actors is like always we're like the extreme part of that. We're like, oh my god, the sky's gonna fall and everything. So I was like, so what should I do in between? So I decided to start up Hooray Pictures to do some things related to media industry, and at the same time as a backup plan.
So this is your backup plan. So do you believe in having multiple backup plans? Plan B, C's and D's?
I'm a very careful person. Who else is a very careful person? So something must be the very adventurous one. So yeah, I always think that we should have a plan B. That was why I never really went full time until I was being forced into full time acting. So Hooray Pictures was my backup plan number 1. I had other backup plan number 2. I do hosting as well, emceeing, another stream of income. And another stream of income is I'm on social media. So follow me on social media.
Oh yes, please do.
That's my another stream of income. So yeah, I think it's good to have several backup plans, but not to treat them as backups, but to treat them as something that may eventually become a mainstream. Then only you can do very well with it. Yeah.
Oh yes, this definitely. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people assume that you're earning a big paycheck as an actress, a big award-winning actress as well. So, do you think that it's an easy one? I mean, I guess people would assume that you have a paycheck, you have this vast network, people that you can tap into to start your business, right? So, how far is this from the truth?
Just a question. Who thinks that being a famous actress means you earn a lot of money? Who thinks being a famous actress you don't earn a lot of money? And how about those in between? Yes and no. To put it in a summary, if you're a famous actress, you get very nice roles, which means that you get popularity, you get endorsements, and that's where your big checks are. But when you are acting, it's like you really don't get paid very much at all. It's like as compared to say a full-time job, it's maybe the same only if you get a lead role or something. But that's the least. You do the most effort, but you get paid the least. For example, say I do a shoot on a 12 to 14 hour day. I get probably paid this X amount of money, a 3-figure. Or maybe if you're lucky, you get a 4-figure for a 1 day. But if I do hosting, do you think hosting is easier for 4 hours or acting for 14 hours?
I think it's same. Yeah, because I don't know about acting, but for me, it's like I think hosting is difficult for me. I'm coming out of my comfort zone to do this, but I wouldn't imagine myself doing what you do, acting for 14 hours a day.
So maybe let's talk about not the skill side, for the hour side. For hosting is 4 hours, acting is 12 to 14 hours. We will eventually assume that maybe like acting pays more, but actually hosting pays probably 2 or 3 times more for the same amount. So that's the funniest part. And if I do a commercial, I will be paid more than hosting. So actually, an actress journey, you don't really get paid so much, even if you're very famous when you're acting. It's only after you finish the show, then you're like, hey brands, I'm the face for like say a makeup brand or something. Then that's where the money comes in. So about the part where does that mean I have a lot of network to go into business side? Yes and no. It helps when you have people that can tap on, hey, I worked with this director before, I'm going to hire him, or I think that makeup artist is great, I'm going to hire her. I think that in that way helps. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's easier as an entrepreneur, because it's a whole new different set of skills. I'm sure a lot of us agree. It's like, I need to learn everything again. But rather than only one skill, I need to learn all the skills. I need to learn how to jump up people. I need to be nice to my clients, my PR skills must be good. I need to be able to do marketing. I need to do my own accounts. Yes, I do my own accounts. I need to be the floor sweeper as well in my own office. Basically. So you gotta do everything. So yes and no. It helps, but not necessarily means it's easier.
So how many employees do you have working with you right now who will feel a bit this?
One thing very good about what I'm doing, because when we do films, it's by per project, per short film or per commercial that we do. So we always hire freelancers, so I don't have that overheads.
Oh wow, that's really amazing.
For freelancers.
For freelancers. Yeah, that's
Think about that,
that.
entrepreneurs.
So how would you describe Tammy as a business person? Because we all know the Tammy on TV, right? So how is Tammy as a business?
I think they kind of like already know what answer I'm giving. Yeah. It will be probably the things that people say when they see me as a in the business side. There's over here I might be like all smiles and everything, but people when they deal with me on like a more serious, they think I'm kind of serious one. Yeah. and because I feel that when people think that I'm very serious or very maybe cold or maybe like more official, it's because I try to put on the front when I'm not sure whether you feel that, but I always feel I look too young for what I'm doing. Then good. I mean, there's good side of it, of course, but there is the bad side. So ever since when I'm like 20-ish years old, I always try to be like, act a bit more mature. Take me seriously, come on, take me seriously. So I always have like, I try to put on this front like so that people would like give you a bit more face rather than show me make bye, those kind of thing. So as a business person, I think it's become a habit that I turn to be like a bit more official and colder. And I don't like people who cannot deliver. So some of my co-workers find it a bit too much. I'm not sure whether you feel that as women entrepreneurs, we are judged differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
And unfortunately though, if I'm being stern on one point where I told you I must deliver this video by this date and you didn't finish this part, and I say it firmly, and maybe the guy says it firmly, it's a very different opinion. So I become very bossy, or I become I don't know, self-centered or too demand.
This is a safe environment. You can say the B word.
Luckily, nobody has yet said that in front of my face. Maybe, yeah, Teresa, but behind me. But yeah, that's. I think that's the image I portray on when I do business with people or with my coworkers.
So besides these, what are the things that you didn't expect from running a business, starting your entrepreneur journey? Besides having to deal with unsavory people, what else? What are the things that you didn't expect that suddenly came crashing down on you?
I think one of the most obvious ones is when you're an actress, you're very much protected and pampered. Here's the water. Do you like your makeup? Do you like your hair this way? No, let's put fringe down. When I'm doing the production and working on my business, you're on your own, man. Like, you gotta pamper yourself. Is that even possible? But yeah. And very different. You gotta be more independent, more disciplined, and a lot more hardworking. And you need to have I found a way to be. I think discipline is one word that's very difficult for a lot of people. A lot of people ask me, how do you get so disciplined? You work out 5 times a week and you still have time to do this or your business thing and you still act and you still host. Discipline is very important, but how do you do it? I hang out with people who have a lot of discipline to motivate me, and then I scare myself all the time.
So did you actually have an idea with your vision for the company and then you just plan it all through right from the beginning, or you just take things one thing at a time?
Like I mentioned, because I started this as a backup plan, I only really wanted to produce things that's nice to share with people. So I was like, where's the picture's gonna be big? As you go along, you realize that the first one we can do it. Let's try for a bigger one. Let's try for even a bigger one. Now I'm thinking of like expanding my company other than just production. we're gonna try to do on the artist management side as well. So yeah, it might not have started with a very big plan, but as you go along, you meet people that inspire you and tell you that you can actually do a lot better.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think quite a number of people, and I myself would like to know, what was the greatest mistake that you have made in your entrepreneurial journey, and what you have learned from that experience?
Greatest mistake. I think when we first started, because I'm not the only person in the company, I have some partners. When we first started, I think we were overconfident and over-ambitious, although we didn't want a lot. But because we keep on thinking that to achieve a certain result, we need a certain amount of funds. We wanted to, rather than do one video by one video, we wanted to first have an entire team and do a big video, a big production. So I think that was one of our biggest mistakes in the first year, because we were like 2.5 years now. We only really grew this year. For the last 1.5 years, we're pretty much like still putting money in, still red for a long time, because we thought that we really needed a lot of funds to go almost go big. So we went out to different investors. Hey, this is our plan. Do you want to invest in us? Then we'd be like, yeah, we might. The investors never came. But in the end, what happened was we just take one small project and then improve ourselves every single time, and then take a different genre every time to show our skills. And then when people see that, hey, we do good work, then they give us bigger projects. So that's how we really grew. So the biggest thing I feel was this overconfident and over-ambitious in the first place.
But do you see that as something that that actually kind of push you forward subsequently in being overconfident?
People say dreaming big is good, but being unrealistic is bad. So that was my take. That's what I learned. I'm still quite ambitious now, but I try to manage it with more realistic goals. Yeah.
So what sets Hooray Pictures apart from all the other production companies available? I mean, right now there's a lot of people who are doing YouTube channels, for example, trying to be filmmakers. So what sets you apart? What sets Hooray Pictures apart from the rest in the marketplace?
We have a lot of production house around, a lot of people doing videos, a lot of people doing YouTube. I think it's great, it's wonderful, so that we have a lot more variety and they will flourish. What makes us different is we're not their competitors. We're not another production house that compete with you with the same project. What we do is we conceptualize. So the client comes to us, this is the video that you want that might match, and then we find somebody else to do it.
Oh, that's actually very nice.
So we are going to play with the Red Sea, Blue Sea, and Blue Ocean. Yeah.
Yeah, and what about marketing plans? Because every business will have a marketing plan. Because if you don't put yourself out there, nobody will know who you are. So what sort of marketing plans do you have in place to boost your business forward?
Oh, I'm actually very old school in a way. I don't have like a marketing person that goes like cold calls and everything. I don't have. As of now, we're still word of mouth. I think maybe because we're not that huge yet, so everything is because they've seen our work, they think what we do is good, so they just introduce people, or they just saw our works online and they just come to us. And maybe because I have that platform, Instagram. So I keep on posting, but just like every time I want to shoot that hashtag Hooray Pictures and everything. And my followers who see it realize that this is what I do, so they will introduce people as well. So I think social media marketing is great. Internet marketing is great. Fine too.
What would you recommend someone who's thinking of starting out, right? What sort of action to take for someone who's thinking of starting out to branch out into business? What would you recommend?
I was just having a conversation with a friend because I had a very long 3-hour meeting, very long-winded guy, but anyway. So he's a very successful business guy, so we're talking about that. We're trying to do a venture together, So I asked him, what do you really want to do? Because this guy's already a millionaire, he doesn't need to earn more money. He's like, what do you really want to do? What do you really like to do? So I think it's the same question, whether or not we're millionaires. You need to figure out what you really like. So, because even, I've met people who just tell me, I love money. I'm pretty sure all of us do. But I think that's not the thing that can keep us going, because you like money is only because what money can bring you. So what you really like is what money can bring you. So what is this thing that you really like that can bring you? So to go and figure out what you really like. For me, it's very straightforward. I really love the media industry. I'm so passionate about it. I really want to be in front and behind the camera all the time. So this is what I'm doing. So find out what you really want. When you really enjoy what you want, then find a way to make money out of it. Me and my friend both agree that once you do something very well, the money will just come. But of course, you need to find ways to market it and put it in a system. It's not just like you do a good job, nobody knows, right? So first do that, and then find a way to make money out of it. If you don't know, go to the people around you who have done it before. If you don't know people who have done it before, then get to know them. Go and knock on doors, tell them to share with you, or things like that. And then when you're an entrepreneur, of course there will be ups and downs, for sure. And then you'll be self-doubt. I don't doubt myself every day, by the way. I'm a real speaker. You doubt myself every day. But I doubt myself every other time when there is an obstacle. Or when there's like the lesser hopes or unclear path. So when you have that, you need very strong people around you to get you back on track. I have very close friends, entrepreneur, non-entrepreneur, who tells me, hey, come back to earth, you're flying too far away. Or hey, you're too lazy, wake up earlier at 5 a.m. I have friends who want to make me wake up at 5 a.m. and I think hanging out with people like that is very useful. And get your game plan properly.
Just share with us what's your plan.
Andrew was asking me the other time, like, do I have a routine that I actually do? I'm trying very hard to wake up early. 5 a.m. is still too early for me. Still. I'm trying to sleep early also. Sometimes like get home after this sleep. So my routine is very simple. I shared previously. I don't have like every day I must do what, but there's a thing that I would do every single day. Before I sleep, I would always reflect about today, what I have done, whether it is good, whether it's not good enough, and how can I improve, especially how I treat people. I would ask myself, okay, today I interacted with, say, Carol. I think one of the good things I did was when Carol was speaking to me, I would try to be nice to her. But what I didn't do good enough today is perhaps I didn't ask her, interact her more before you go to start. So maybe next time on the stage, I shall talk to my host a little bit more. Things like that. I will like reflect. I didn't do this good enough. Maybe next time will be better. And then the next thing I will think about is what I'm going to do tomorrow. And in my tomorrow schedule, how can I make sure that what I want to improve today can be put inside tomorrow? That's what I do. I think when we improve every single day just a little bit, it's good enough to be better.
I really love your positive attitude when it comes to, are you living a dream life right now?
Oh, I really want to talk about it. I get very excited. Okay, I was at this topic with my friend previously. He said he wanted to make a lot of money and then retire and then live a dream life. I'm like, I'm not sure whether that's the best thing to do because I'm already living my dream life now. I told him, he asked me what I want to do when I retire. I say, I'm the kind of workaholic that I think I will probably never retire, so I might as well retire now. So he was like, huh? You can retire, then you want to retire now? What do you mean, I'm like, because if you need retirement is to do the things that you like and have that time freedom or that things, to do what you like basically, then why not do it now? So I'm trying to do it now and really I can do it. So what I really like to do is I like to work out. So I'm doing that 5 times a week now. I really like vacation. I'm trying to go like a vacation once a month. I'm going twice a month. Okay. You know, I can actually be retiring right now even though I'm working very hard. It doesn't mean that I can be lazy. I still work very hard, but I find time to do the things that I like. For example, because I have time freedom, I can choose to schedule today. Like I woke up to do a workout and then I need a few meetings in between. I'll probably go for a spa, you know, or at night I just try to be ready for a massage kind of thing. So that's me living the life that I really like now. I really love my life now. Like when you're focusing and driving on one thing, working very hard, you get little achievements, you get very happy about it, but at the same time get a balance to have your me time, to go for a swim, but I can't swim unless it or like go for a spa or things like that. Yeah, so I think it's very important to do that.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing all this. But what I should get from you is you need to find something that you're passionate about. And then turn that passion into a money-making business. And then from that, then you have all options to live your life the way that you intend it to be. Yes, and also it's like have a game plan. It's very important to have a game plan as an entrepreneur. Because for you, starting out isn't very easy. People assume that it's easy for you because of your public figure. And to hear that you have to go through the same path as anybody else, having to go get funding, talking to VCs and going through different mistakes, to make where you are today is really, really inspiring. So before we end this session, would you please share with us, share with the members of the audience here, some takeaways for yourself. Or rather, I would say that a few words to encourage them, to pursue the life that they want to live.
Not very inspiring words. To pursue the life that you want to live. And this topic, I always think that it's I think previously you mentioned it's all about here. If you have assumption that it's already difficult and that it's true. If you have already an assumption that it is easy, then it's also true. And then we were talking about money just now. I wrote down money is everywhere. So I think to actually do what you like and be able to earn money, it's very possible. Just believe you can, and then find a way to it. So I think probably just change over here your mindset. If you can't, you still think it's very difficult, then talk to somebody who can convince you, and allow yourself to be convinced. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing all this with us. Thank you for coming by. And let's give Tammy a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Okay, Sarah. We should have a little chat later so that I can fulfill that I wanted to do just now.
Okay, absolutely. Yes. I'm so thankful for everyone here tonight. And after hearing from all these amazing entrepreneurs, I'm sure there's a shift in you today. Definitely. Because you can't unhear or unsee what you have seen and heard this evening. There is a shift. Right? And the thing is, this is what the organizers of Make Your Mark want to give you guys tonight. And this is the first event that we are hosting, and the next event that we're going to have will be in January. And we are having a few amazing speakers lined up in January. And the topic will be, you have you. It's about self-love. Because as women, sometimes we don't love ourselves enough. So this will be the topic for our January. It's December, Christmas, and we really hope that you can bring your friends to attend our next event in January. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. And I'd like to hand this back to Andrew.
Thank you, Carol. So everyone have fun? Yes. No, it's falling asleep from the alcohol, is it? I think I'll need to drink more. Okay, could I have the next slide, please? Okay, on top of January event, because December we know it's. How many of you on a holiday in December? Raise up your hand, come on. Don't be shy. Okay, good. How many go to Japan? Korea, US? Okay, awesome. Yeah, I still love Japan. Okay, so we'll be having, I'm going to try this out. We're going to have webinars. Basically, getting speakers to go on webinars where you can potentially ask questions. Again, similar. We're trying the online stage. So if you've got friends in Malaysia or anyone within the region who would love to hear about something like what we are doing here today, definitely share with them this. And this will be an opportunity, for the January event. Most likely we'll be having it here again. How many of you like this place? No? The rest don't like? Is it cozy enough? No, please give me feedback. Okay. Okay, yeah, so anyway, just tell any of us. Could I have the next slide, please? Okay, so if you guys can take out your phone and take out your QR reader. So this is our QR code to our mailing list so that you can get informed of our events. We just started our Facebook page, which will send out through the email list. So your names that you have this, you can take a picture if you want. You can share with your friends to scan it. Go there, I'll stand below. I'll give you about 5 seconds to do the scan. You should take a photo of this. Everyone's like scanning their QR code. Yeah, the interesting thing, QR code has been around for nearly 10 years. Only Singapore has just started adopting it like this year or last year maybe, actively. Of course, China is doing this non-stop. Okay, great. Did I miss anything else? Okay, so this is the so-called the MailChimp mailing list. Get inserted, we'll update you on the events. And to finish off the event, we would love everyone to stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. Okay, let's stand on stage. Okay, everyone find a partner. Okay? And turn to each other. Okay, wait, find a partner. So there's a partner A and a partner B. Find a partner A and partner, or choose a partner A. Okay, partner A, raise your hand. Okay, partner A point to partner B. And say, you are an awesome lady. Okay, partner B, your turn. Okay, give each other a hug and a big round of applause. Awesome. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. To really wrap it off, okay, thank you. Okay, I can receive the clap now. Thank you. If I could get everyone to come onto the stage. So Victor's gonna take a really good photograph. Just in front here. Yeah, okay. So could everyone just come, please? Can play a little bit music. Face there.
The speakers in the front.
Okay, speakers in front.
I gave your daughter a very important job.
Thank you. Naomi, Alvina, I can come. Yeah, those are my two daughters. Everyone say hi. They're very shy. Okay. Ladies, you're supposed to go on stage. This is your chance to go on stage. Please. We need to fit into the camera lens. Can fit or need to squeeze in some more. I might just do another layer. All ladies, okay, I'm not allowed in. Okay, I'll come in. Speakers one step back. Okay, we all bend a bit. One hand on the Okay, is that good? Everyone, thumbs up. Woo! Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Hope you all had a fun night.